Hey guys, this week we are talking finances and I have a very special guest here with me, my husband, because we are soon going to be leading Financial Peace University in our area, and I figured, hey, this would be perfect for answering Wendy's question. She says, I know you all are Dave Ramsey followers and I would love to hear more about how you manage finances as a couple, budget meetings, etc. from your perspective. So even though from my perspective, I'll still speak on that, but I wanted Tim here for this as well, because this is gonna be a very big, it has been a very big part of our life, and we're like gearing up to get back into it. I'm excited. To start us off, I'm gonna have Tim give us a little snapshot of our financial journey.
Let's see, shortly after we got married, I had student loan debt. We were earning about $15,000 a year total combined. I was working one part-time job. She started then working temp with a temp agency, and we needed a new car. So we basically bought the car on the credit card, racked up a lot of credit.
We did.
Yeah, we racked up credit card debt, school debt. We had car loans. We were just doing a lot of, we were up to, I think we started working to get out of debt. We had $21,521.66, if I remember correctly. And it took us about 2.5 years, both of us working really intensely and increasing our income, getting new jobs, things like that, to pay all that off. And it was on the day Obama was elected the first time is when I paid off Sally Mae, my student loans, and we were completely 100% debt free, and that was over 8 years ago now.
I remember that being such a strange feeling to be like, really, like, we're done. We don't owe any more money to anyone else. Like, we get to keep this. So that happened, and then almost 8 years later, we were debt free. We were shy by 3.5 months of being debt free for 8 years until we bought the house that we're in right now.
This past August. But we were saving our down payment for this house for like those 8 years. Now we had a little, babies born.
We had 6 kids within that time frame.
Right, so we saved a lot more slowly than we wanted to, but at least we were like saving.
Yeah.
And we have money. Sometimes we had to take it out in order to pay for
We paid cash for a car.
Things like that.
The first part of the question is managing finances. Is that just like allocating where money goes to?
I guess so. So I think it starts with the first of every month. We sit down and we look at the budget that's coming, or we look at the calendar of what's coming up for the next month. So if it's like March 1st, we sit down and like what's coming up in March. You've got birthday presents. What travel do we have? How much gas money do we need to budget?
And in the month previous, whatever bills we have that come to the house of like our utilities, I go ahead and put that in the calendar on the first of the month and put down like
utilities, how much is our electric bill going to be that we got to pay this month, all that kind of stuff. So we sit down and we just plan all of that out on the first of the month. And it's important because one of the mistakes we did at the beginning is we tried to make just like one budget that would work every single month, and that did not work for us because first of all, when you're starting out, you don't even know how much money you spend on gas or
when you're first starting budgeting. Yeah, it took us a good 3 months when we started budgeting before our budget actually worked, because beforehand we didn't even know where our money was going to.
How much you're spending on eating out.
You think you have an idea of where your money is, but until you see it down on paper and in categories, like specific categories. I know a lot of people will put their grocery budget will also include your toilet paper and your paper goods and stuff. We have that even separated out, because for me it helps to know specifically how much are we spending on food. And then I almost feel like I need to separate out like our toilet paper from light bulbs.
Sounds like we go through a lot of toilet paper.
We do go through a lot of toilet paper. Not everybody's potty trained yet either. Oh man.
Go through a lot of diapers too. Yeah. So we sit down and we budget everything that's coming out for the month based on the calendar, and then what do we do next? You
see where we have to like cut back. Like, oh, this is coming up, but we need to maybe not do that this month and save it for other month. That's kind of the how we budget, but what do our meetings look like? I feel like our meetings look a lot different right now than they did when we first started budgeting. Do you remember back then of how things went when we were
It took a lot longer at the beginning. Like now it goes a lot faster than it used to after we've been doing it for like 8
What about how we worked together? Do you remember that?
This looks like kissing, so that's good.
Do you remember in the beginning though? Like
no, not really.
If it was tense or relaxed when we were budgeting?
I just remember it took a really long time to do.
I remember like getting in little fights, like over where we're gonna spend our money in the beginning. I don't feel like we do that anymore.
Now, so we used to sit down, we would go through all the expenses from the last month, allocate them in the appropriate budget line item. We use mint.com for all that.
Which is awesome. It's free, and you have an app that you can use on your phone too, as well as using it on the computer.
Dave Ramsey has something called everydollar.com, but we've never looked at it or even used it because we're happy with Mint. Oh. So we sit down and kind of evaluate the past month, and then go forward into the next month. And so what we do to evaluate the last month, we keep all our receipts of all our transactions.
Every time I go shopping, I keep all my receipts in here. Dave Ramsey recommends cash envelopes. And for us, it doesn't work very well because cash for us is harder to keep track of because using our debit card, we don't use credit cards at all. We don't have any credit cards. But keeping track of the debit card, we have our receipts, but then we can also go online and look at the bank statements and see it there too. So we have 2 copies to keep track of instead of...
So every time we swipe, we keep a record of what we spent. But sometimes you don't, well, what was that at Target for? What did I get for 100? That's where the receipts come in. Yeah. So you can look at the receipt and be like, okay, so half of this or this much was for groceries, this much was for household, this much was for gifts or whatever, you know, the case may be. If we do need to get cash, we will go like from an ATM for babysitting, for example, we pay that with cash. Then we take the transaction receipt from the ATM and we just write on that what it was for, and then we put that.
And we've learned the hard way that we have to write on that one like right away what we're getting the cash out for.
Can't like, oh, write it on there later.
They're like, oh, we'll remember.
Yeah. One budget item that was really difficult for Dan in the beginning and then became essential was below money. So each month.
That was hard for me in the beginning?
Well, because we didn't have it at first. And because we missed that part in Dave Ramsey's book.
Oh, I don't even remember this.
So I remember it was really strict, felt really like it was really, I don't know, like burdensome, I guess. And then we added $25 a month of blow money, which is what we've done for the past 8 years. We've never gotten a raise. Even when we're climbing out of debt, it was still 25 bucks a month, which can, not compound. I've been doing investment research lately now. It does.
If you don't spend it 1 month, you can
it carries over.
Keep it and add it to the next.
So, so basically, you can get like 300 bucks a year if you don't spend any of it. That gave us a lot of freedom rather than like, oh, everything's so stressful. Be like, hey, I can go blow. I have 25 bucks. I can blow on whatever I want. So I tend to, Indiana does too, tend to like save it, and then we get like a big thing, like something like the little hoverboard got that, you know.
I helped you with that.
Yep.
I gave you some blow money.
I got like a subwoofer for like a stereo, like just like nothing that you could ever justify the cost for or any other reason other than like I saved and saved and saved, and then I literally just blew my money, and that's like. I feel like you kind of need that in order for the budget to not feel like it's like.
I tend to spend a little here and there. I usually spend a little bit of something each month because I don't know. I
bought a video game once too. Like total just blew money.
Yeah.
No reason why we needed that for any reason other than
just a little fun and then just to feel relaxed because if you don't have the blow money category, then you feel really tied in and it makes it not fun. If there is not a Financial Peace University nearby you and you are interested in learning more about budgeting and who Dave Ramsey is and what it's like to be debt-free and is that even possible, a book that I highly recommend is Total Money Makeover. And we're not sponsored at all in this video. This is just stuff that has helped us. I know, we gotta work on that. This book has just been awesome. This is what we read, and I wouldn't have assumed that we were disciplined people that could just read this book and get out of debt from doing this. We did have some help on the way with having a financial advisor giving us some tips along the way. But
his main tip was to read that book though.
Yeah, and so we read the book and we followed
link to
what
it
he
in the
says
description below if you want to go check it out.
There we go. I highly recommend reading that book, and if your spouse will read it as well and you can work together in it.
I think it's required. Awesome. Like you can't, like you do need both you and your spouse need
For it to
both
work.
read it. Yeah.
You can't.
Otherwise, one person will keep spending or the other person will keep saving. You know, you
and
need
then I
both.
feel like that would cause even more fights. If
Yeah.
there's any financial fights going on right now at all, I think that would make it even worse.
Yeah, you definitely have to be on the same page, same plan, in agreement, pinky swear on it every month. We don't do the pinky swear thing, but I hear some people do, and that helps.
Budgeting is definitely worth the hard work that you're gonna put into it and everything, and the discipline that it takes to do it, because the freedom that comes from being debt-free is amazing. Because whenever there's a situation that comes in life, because there will be times that will come that like your car breaks down or something big happens or an appliance breaks down and you need a new refrigerator. Like whenever those situations happen and you're debt-free, it's not as big of a deal. And you have an emergency fund to pull from. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal as if
It's still a big
you didn't
deal.
have an emergency fund, you're owing all this money to so many different credit card companies and Sally Mae, and it's just because where else are you gonna get money from when you already owe more than what you have?
And because we were debt-free, that's what enabled me to have the freedom to take the risk, to not go get a real job. This is pre-YouTube days. This is when I was living full-time on my website. I wouldn't have been able to take the risk if we had so many bills to pay every
Yeah.
month. But it was like, we were debt-free, so we got to keep the money that we were earning every month, except for what we chose to pay, which was basically rent and utilities and groceries, I suppose.
I would love for you to comment below if you have some experience in being debt-free, working your way out of debt. It's just some encouragement that you can give to others that probably need it. If you have any other questions, go ahead and comment those below and I will add them to my list of questions, and I'll see you next week. Bye.